it's Rome and welcome to another episode of Homefront. We had a magnificent week last week. This week we have a bumper week for you ahead, and we have already had a lot of specialists lined up, and today is no different because on Homefront, you know, we touch base with all of the professionals, all of the specialists, because we want to get you the facts, get you the information, and answer so many questions that I have and that you at home have when it concerns your family's health, your personal health, your wellness, and today is no different. Today with us, coming all the way from Tobago, I know he can't even go to the beach, just like all of us here. I want to introduce to you Dr. Sammy. Now, Dr. Sammy, before I even bring him in, let me tell you a bit about him. Dr. Sammy is a specialist in emergency medicine, and he also specializes in the elderly. He is one of the only persons in the Caribbean, probably the only person in the Caribbean, that has a PhD when it comes to this field. And he was also he held that position as senior lecturer at the University of the West Indies. So I want to welcome Dr. Sammy. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. It's nice to be on your show.
Yeah, welcome to the home front. I'm now saying that you can't even go on the beach in Tobago. But thank God for technology that we have you with us here on Zoom.
Yes, yes.
So welcome to the show. And as I spoke about the elderly and emergency health, when it comes to the elderly, I want to dive right inside and ask you, what is, I heard the phrase, healthy aging.
Right, so healthy aging really refers to the kind of behavior and lifestyle choices we make to allow us to go into our older years being healthy and fit and happy and living the kind of active lifestyle we want. So, you know, it's really important to understand as the population gets older, people aren't just satisfied with thinking, I want to live longer. Mm-hmm. They want to be healthy and make the best of any extra years. So, you know, there's a saying, we want to add life to years. We don't just want to add years to life.
Right. So what could you advise a young person to do in their youth so that they would make sure that they age healthy later on in life?
That's an excellent question. Most people don't realize that actually, you know, how healthy you are when you get older really depends on your choices and your lifestyle when you are younger. We're talking about when you're in your young adult years, adolescence, and even childhood. Now, having said that, for those of you who have been a little naughty in your younger years, don't worry, because any positive change at any point in your life improves your health in old age. There are 5 things that you can do which would improve your health in old age. Mm-hmm. You know, do as a younger person.
As a younger person.
The first is moderate exercise. And when we say that, we're talking about something as simple as 20 to 30 minutes walking 3 to 5 times a week. The second thing is healthy eating. So minding the calories and making sure you have enough fresh fruit and vegetables, as well as being moderate with the alcohol if you are somebody who drinks alcohol, and no smoking. The third thing is looking after your mental health, both in terms of mindfulness and in terms of mental agility, keeping that brain taking over. The fourth thing is looking after and monitoring any lifestyle illnesses that you may already have. So if you have high blood pressure or diabetes, make sure you look after those things. Bearing in mind, for those things, the first step to looking after them is exercise and diet. And then finally, maintaining and fostering good and healthy social connections.
So social connections would affect your health as a young person in your later stage of life?
Absolutely. Because remember, it takes something to develop good social connections. So if you isolate yourself in your younger years, it becomes harder and harder to make those connections in later life. And as we will see, those social connections are key to good health in older life.
Okay, so you spoke about of the things that we could do as young people to make sure that we age healthily, right? In terms of the elderly, people who are more mature, what could they do? Because you mentioned before that it's never too late. So if you're
Yes.
someone who had an unhealthy youth, and then you're getting up in age and now you realize things not going as you thought it would, what could they do now?
So actually, the key to what you do as an older person is really to try to develop or maintain those same practices that you were doing as a young person. So just to remind us, moderate exercise, healthy eating, social connections, looking after your pre-existing illnesses, and looking after your mental health. Having said that, I want to just focus on two of those things. Mm-hmm. The first one is mental health. So when we talk about looking after your mental health as an older person, we need to think about keeping that mind active. You know, people don't realize, but actually for years now, researchers and scientists have known that retirement often marks the beginning of a decline in health and well-being for the individual. So people retire and they slowly lose their health and lose their
I would say that. I have seen a lot of people, as the minute they retire, because they don't have that routine and that drive to go to work and to get their mind churning, I have seen their health start to deteriorate quickly.
Exactly. No, and the thing is, I am not advocating that you should work till you drop.
Right.
And in fact, I look forward to my retirement. But you have to plan what you're going to do with your life at that stage. Are you going to volunteer in some kind of organization where you make a positive impact? Maybe you're going to continue working, but part-time and on your conditions. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you're just going to continue doing what you enjoy that keeps you stimulated. You know, something simple as waking up in the morning and doing the crossword or doing the Sudoku. Make sure you keep yourself active. So that's one side of it. The other side that I want to talk about is social connections.
Right.
Loneliness. Well, you know, loneliness is one of the biggest challenges of the older population, partly because as we get older, our peers and our age group are dying. So people do feel that they're being left alone. But there's a reverse side to that which people don't know, which is that loneliness affects your health. So people who are lonely in older life are more likely to have poor control of their illnesses like their high blood pressure, heart disease.
So what about a pet? Would that be able to help you? Because if you're getting older and you don't have a spouse or you don't have a child that could be there with you all the time, would having a pet help that?
Oh yes, definitely. Having a pet, some living being to share your company and to look after. But I suppose just as important is to go out and maintain or try to develop the kinds of connections we would like with people, whether it's family, friends, church groups, this sort of thing.
So Dr. Sammy, we wanna come in here as you spoke about mental health, because we have a segment called the Mindfulness Minute. So we're going to take a break and head across to our Mindfulness Minute, where we breathe in the positivity and breathe out the negativity.
Welcome to this Mindful Minute. Today we're going to practice relaxing the body. So wherever you are, just closing your eyes and just sense your body and notice if you're holding any tension that you don't need to hold right now. Checking in with the muscles of your face. Sometimes we like to furrow the space between our eyebrows or clench our jaw. So seeing if you can relax that now. Checking in with your neck and shoulders, another place where we love to hold tension, and trying to relax that part of the body. And check in with your chest and your abdomen, making sure it's relaxed so that your breath can move freely throughout your body. So making sure and taking time to relax your body helps to bring you to this present moment so you can be here now.
As Dr. Sammy said, mindfulness is very, very important for you to have that healthy aging. So we want to thank you very much, Dr. Sammy, and we must bring him back for another episode because we have so many more questions for him when it comes to caring for the elderly. Now we're going to jump inside some of your questions that you have submitted via video. So let's jump inside our question and answer segment right here on Homefront.
My name is Liam Spicer. I have received my first jab of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, and since to bring the effectiveness of the vaccine to up to about 90%, a second jab has to be administered within a allotted time frame. So my question is, if for whatever reason a person is not administered the second jab within the allotted time frame, what does that mean for that person? Do they have to restart the vaccination process and take another first jab and then a second jab, or what is the course of action for them?
Hi Liam, thanks so much for your question. The World Health Organization recommends that the second dose of the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine should be given 8 to 12 weeks after the first dose. If it is not possible to be vaccinated by the 12th week, the WHO, as the World Health Organization is called, recommends that the second dose be taken as soon after 12 weeks as possible. Thank you so much for your question.
So keep sending in those video submissions, those questions to the email address that you're going to see popping up on your screen, and we are going to make sure that we get those professionals to answer all of your questions. Anything and everything that you ask, we will get them answered right here on Homefront. So we want to thank you all very much for joining us today. But before we go, we want to remind you of the PED CARES Foundation. So keep donating, sending those funds, because a little goes a long way as we care for the children of our nation, because they are the future. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Rome. This is Homefront. Catch you tomorrow, same time, same place.